more, but ultimately it doesn't really matter too much as long as it's working. And he's going to get the Bastion around it. And it's a big part of their mechanics, actually, the Celestial Armada, in terms of playstyle. They kind of have to get the buildings around the collection arrays just to make sure they're well protected, to stop the enemies taking them out with the ground units at least. Because they don't have workers as such, right? They've got a couple of prisms maybe here and there, but they can't attack, so the best way to defend your collection arrays, so obviously with units, but if you're moving out, you don't want to be caught, so get the buildings around it, and it stops the melee units at least from destroying them. Now, back on that thought about defining key units, and for this particular matchup, the Kree for the Celestial Armada could come into play. A really important unit for them, I think. As time has been progressing, players have started to figure out this faction and how they play. The Kree are great at taking out workers. They really are. They get on top of the Luminite nodes and lines, and they do so much damage, and of course they have this sort of invulnerable state as well. When they do go to critical health, they become invulnerable. They can still attack, by the way, and then after a couple of seconds they actually explode. They self-detonate to cause even more damage. The great thing about it is that whilst the Kree do slow down when they're in the invulnerable state in terms of movement speed, they're actually still faster than the workers, so they can catch up. The workers find it very difficult to escape. Looks like it's going to be a third base expansion for the Infernals, but it's going to send a couple of Gaunts forward to buy him that time. Should pick off this Argent, does get the Infest, or maybe not actually. This Argent might just be able to get that out of there, especially with the Argent supporting. It does get it in the end, and the Fiend spawns out. Just to add to the fight, I mean, I think 3 Argents should be able to win this fight, especially with the Hexen now down. Although, it's a bit dicey, yeah, 2 Argents versus 2 Gaunts, the Argents might win. But although having said that, the Gaunts do have the white health on them. Either way, we should be seeing a resolution to this fight pretty soon. I would like to say, by the way, a very big thank you for everyone who's been supporting the channel, whether it be on Twitch or YouTube. You guys are absolute legends, so thank you. Special shout-outs, by the way, to the YouTube channel members and the Twitch subscribers. Appreciate you guys very, very much. And we do actually have our first YouTube channel member on the Stormgate side of things, Sean Smith, forever going down in history, at least as the first channel member on the channel, so thank you so much, appreciate it, my dude. And we actually saw a couple of buildings go down there for the Celestial Armada, one of being the Force Projector, which is an upgrade building. It also has a good attack on it, which does some debuffs on enemy units. There it is, the red circular building. It forces, or it causes the enemies to be slower, and they get a bit of a slow debuff, and also reduces the damage that they do. So not only can they retreat less, they also do less damage when they are under pressure or they are attacked. Only for a short period of time, of course, but that can definitely play a role defensively. Especially if, players are looking to try and counterattack and do some damage when the Argents or the Celestial Armada army are moving out. Third base up here for BioIce, and starting to ramp up the economy. It's got a good number of workers by now, I'm sure. But what that means is that Reimy should have a good number of army. He's moving out now, getting the Luminite nodes and getting passive generation. Now, just a short word on that sort of newsreel at the bottom. It is actually including the YouTube channel members, so we'll actually change that and move it just for the Stormgate YouTube channel members. Probably want to get a couple of more, but hopefully it shouldn't be too soon before I do that and get that in the works. Either way, Argent's moving down to the south corner, south edge, looking to attack that third base, which is relatively unprotected at this point, so BioIce might lose a couple of workers. There's good energy on these Argents, but they're not the... I mean, they will take out a couple for sure. There's 2 that goes down. He might even take out the base, which is kind of important, taking the shrine out. It's a lot of Luminite will be going down. Does use the Purify top bar ability to regenerate that energy. And the way the Argents work really is that if they have energy, they do more damage on their shots. So it's a big deal. You do see a Harbinger coming in there with a couple of Gaunts guided in, and he should be able to clear this up, but he might lose that shrine. I think the Argents need to target the shrine if he can. He will take it down. Scanner coming in, but not really adding too much. Probably included in the control hotkey, the control all army hotkey. But yeah, he loses the Argents, but he takes out a base in trading off with that. So it's probably worth it there, I think, for Reimy. Did a lot of damage, although he killed a couple of workers, but more importantly, he took out the shrine, and it takes a bit of a while for that shrine to get up and running again. I think this is kind of the way this matchup goes, actually, a lot of the times. But the Celestial Armada need to do damage because the Infernals look to be quite greedy at times and get the economy, and then move out with a big army. The question is, how much damage can Reimy do before it gets uncontrollable? Look at those Gaunts, they're moving across the map really fast, actually. I don't know if he's got the upgrade, if it's because he's got the movement speed cap. It looks like he's got the upgrade for the Gaunts. It makes them super speedy, as you can see. Now, it looks like it might be a double-pronged attack, by the way. A couple of Gaunts moving on the left side, but he's got the Harbinger coming in from the southeast. Kree will be looking to track this. Uses the Sovereign's Watch ability, top bar ability for the Celestials. Just push that away, and the Kree will get on top of the Gaunts, and they're pretty squishy to Kree, to be fair. So he'll be nice, well and protected. Where's that Harbinger? Just hanging out there for a moment before he dives on in. Now bear in mind that Collectioner was pretty weak in health, right? Because he suffered a lot of damage to that lonely fiend early on in the game. So the Gaunts potentially could target that down and take it out. Decides to head back though instead. It goes for the Prism and the Fabricator on the Ethereum node. Kree will get on top of that. I suspect Bias will retreat and get her out of there just as well. Now with the Harbinger in play, like in terms of anti-air units, the Celestial Armada do have the Vectors. That could be an option. Could also go for the Scythe, the actual air unit for the Celestials. I think he's going to take out this collection rate. Makes a lot of sense to, right? There it goes, it deploys, and yeah, it's going to target that. And it will go down, even if he does try and escape with it. The Gaunts do have anti-air capabilities, so he would take it down. He's a run on out of there with the Harbinger. Will do. A nice bit of sniping there. Means he's going to need another Morph Core. Speaking about base expansions, and the Infernals are going for a fourth one as well. So that economy is going to get rocking and rolling. It's a bit of a concern for Reimy because it hasn't done like huge amounts of worker damage just yet anyway, as we see the Kree going across the field, Roly Boys. And well, I mean there's only 4 of them, but we are seeing a lot of people play with only 4 Roly Boys and can sometimes do a bit of damage, but those meat farms, Shroud Stones could put a bit of a spanner in the works, and I think he might be heading there with a couple of units anyway. We'll see. At least the Fellhogs are doing some good damage. Imp Worker's going to run away. He might get a couple, at least one, right? Should get at least, yeah, we should get more than that actually. Maybe 2 to 3. But this is the big thing, right? The Kree are pretty tanky, and the Gaunt's going to try and take them out. They will take them out, but don't forget they can still explode, and they can explode on top of the Gaunts, well, almost. The thing about the Gaunts, they do have a good movement speed, so it's a bit tricky to chase them down. I think as a design, the Kree really are about raiding, because when they are in the invulnerable state, they can't keep up with most units, but they can keep up with the Imp Workers. It's only focusing on the Fellhogs mostly for now, but it's causing some havoc at least. But yeah, I suspect Reimy would have loved to have got more value out of that. A couple of Kree sent at home just to protect against a Gaunt drop, which is great here for BioIce because it's buying him time, right? It's allowing him to get his economy up and running, and he'll be working from there. There's 3 Harbingers. I mean, that's a lot of Gaunts, right? He did open up with a lot of Conclaves. Oh, the Harbinger disappeared. Probably teleported on back home. A couple of Imp Workers moving forward to that 4th base. It's very exposed in the middle of the map, right? Something that Reimy probably will look to try and challenge. Try to get a couple of Shroud Stones, but that won't go up in time. And he is at real risk of losing this shrine, although, you know, the Harbinger really does add a lot more speed to the army, mobility to the army for the Infernal, so he might get there in time. We'll have to see. They should be on their way now. There they are. 3 Harbingers full of Gaunts. They come out, and to be fair, I think the Kree just take this down, right? Because they can still attack when they're in this period of self-detonation. It does take the shrine down, so good trade. A couple of Kree take down the shrine. It's always worth it, usually. Depends how many Kree, to be fair. Yeah, sending batches of 4. Reimy going down to the south again, and looks like the Harbinger's going to go to be a bit more offensive this time. The good thing for the Celestial Armada, though, they do typically look to get static defenses and turrets to protect the Celestial Armada, the cores, the central arrays or collection arrays. So it can be a bit difficult for the Harbingers to get too much value, I think. I'll tell you what, though, what will get a lot of value are these Kree. They're getting so much damage out on these Imp Workers. All of them going down mostly here. There's not many that remaining on this Luminite node. Massive pick off on this base expansion. Reimy doing a lot of eco damage, but will it be enough? He's got 4 bases after all, and don't forget, the Infernals, they do have a top